ruined the intro already.
There we go.
We've ruined the intro already. You're here,
What's going on, guys? I'm here.
Yeah,
We're okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
We're more of like a live aspect. So if you're ever on again, just hop right in, jump in. We're not the most professional people in the world. Maybe you could give us some advice. You ran a very successful podcast.
Some would say. It was some very fun years of my life. Weekly Wrestling Podcast. Did that for about 5 or so years. Kind of got my foot in the door with professional wrestling before I did the referee and the ring announcing and the commentary, which led to me where I am today, being 1/3 of Empire. And I did it just for you guys.
Oh, look at that. Another champion on here.
Oh.
The current HWE Cruiserweight Champion.
Phenomenal.
I love when people bring their belts.
Yeah.
Makes me excited.
I had to do it just for you guys.
Yeah, for sure. It's looking great. I don't have a belt. I got nothing. But I'm not a wrestler.
All right, I'll put it away then.
It's okay. You can wear it if you want. Is it heavy? How much does it weigh?
It's actually probably one of the heavier titles I held. The Pro Wrestling Ontario Openweight Championship was probably the heaviest championship I've held, for sure.
The PWO Openweight Championship. How you held that for a very long time?
Yeah, it was nearly a year. It was a really fun run. I actually got to start up PWO, the first Openweight champion, the first Iron Cup winner. PWO was my home promotion. No questions asked. When you think of the standard Matthew Grant, eyes go right to PWO. They gave me the platform to be the competitor I am today. The confidence that I have today is because of Pro Wrestling Ontario. No questions asked. They've given Empire a platform, my brother JT Kirk, my stablemate, and my best friend Crystal Moon an opportunity to really grow as well. So big shout out to Pro Wrestling Ontario.
Yeah, they gave you that tournament, the belt. I think I heard. I prepped. You had like maybe 2 matches under your belt by that time, maybe.
At that point, I believe I was about, if we're doing numbers, probably about 10 or so in. Because I'd done the best of 7 with JT Kirk by that point, and then the odd match here or there too. So.
Oh, I know what it was. You hadn't. Because you wrestled 3 matches that night, and you had never done. I think you said.
No, never done that before.
Never done that before. Yeah.
That was stressful. That was super stressful. Wrestling 1 match alone gives me anxiety. Doing 3 in one night. Whew.
What stresses you out the most? Just wrestling in general, but then tacking on 2 more matches alongside it.
Yeah. Especially when you're getting in the ring with guys like Mark Shaw and Shane Saber, Justin Sane. Yeah. You know, dudes that are not only more experienced than you, but a little bit bigger than you too. Yeah. Throw you around a little bit, you know. I don't know if you guys have seen that infamous clip. I've shared it on my social media a little bit of Justin Sane giving me that crazy
Alabama slam into the turnbuckle. Yeah. So I had that written down. Actually, no, I had it on my phone. Oh, I'm using the phone for TikTok too. I had it on my phone because I had already put up like the notes that I try to follow. But then I was listening, and you said you took this nasty bump, and it was like an Alabama slam into a turnbuckle. And I'm like, oh man, I have to ask him about that. Scariest spot you've ever done?
Off the top of my head, second scariest.
Okay.
The first scariest was on my own accord too. I wrestled Holden Albright at an earlier HWE show, and I went for a reverse Rana. Didn't really fully get the motion of the reverse Rana. He landed on me.
Big guy, big fella.
So yeah, you can imagine how that ended up for me. But no, for real. You see everybody's reaction in that clip, especially my brother, my partner. He literally triple takes and is like, is he okay? My wife was like, what the hell when she seen that clip? I think her family was there for the first time seeing me too, so what an introduction to pro wrestling.
They obviously knew that's what you were doing. You were a wrestler, but that's the first time that they had seen.
So the first time they came to a show was that, and then the first time I had met them, I had taken a like Kenny Omega style V trigger and like legitimately like had a black eye, and that's how I was introduced. Straight up black eye. Hi, nice to meet you.
Oh man, wow. So I was gonna kick off the show. I write bullet points down. A lot of times I don't. We fly by the seat of our pants. Sometimes, but that's okay. I love it. Yeah, right. And I love it. I don't really care about how you started, or you went to Hamilton Pro Wrestling Academy with I think Rip Impact.
Got a Rip Impact. Yep.
Yeah. So I don't need to do all those, but what I'm really curious about is why do you spend so much money on wrestling toys, and about how much do you spend?
Okay, so I don't know if I could even make my webcam go over to. So I just bought the AEW pop-up stage.
Okay.
Can I swear on here?
You sure can.
I'm a fucking nerd when it comes to pro wrestling toys and everything involved with it. I have a complete AEW setup, like stage, full-scale ring. I made a commentary table, like the whole 9 yards. It's ridiculous. I'll probably be posting pictures on my Instagram soon. Follow me at Matthew Grant First Days of 4. Get those plugs in.
Yeah.
But no, seriously, I just look at my house. My wife looks at my house and she's like, "What are you doing with your life?"
Oh, I know the line. You're a 12-year-old fucking adult. That's what you said somewhere.
You nailed it. Nailed it. I can't even. Yeah, I can't express that enough. I literally sitting here looking at my DTOF filled with wrestling toys. Like, what is going on with
Have you finished, or is it ever finished, your Kurt Angle shrine? I know you're a big Kurt Angle fan.
Yes. So there's one particular one that's missing. It was a Jax that was made when he got his head shaved. It was like the wig.
Okay.
It was put into a 3-pack. And I have been eyeing it on eBay for a while, but it's a little pricier than I want to go. So I'm going to blame this all on Matt Cardona and Brian Myers for the record. I'm a huge Major Pod guy. The most expensive free podcast you can ever listen to. My God.
We had what was his name? Kyle Peterson on. He does a collecting show
on
YouTube.
Yeah, I'm familiar with him.
Yeah, for sure. Do you go out and hunt literally in the stores?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. I'm one of those guys. Actually, me and my wife, she was with me when I found a Chasen store, and we both like jumped up and down like little kids in the store. It was fucking phenomenal.
I don't collect, I guess. I mean, I'm an older gentleman, so I have like my LJNs from when I was a kid.
Oh,
I still got all those. I got a few.
Also, great shirt, by the way.
I wore it specifically for you.
I love it. Wonderful.
Right? Just for you. Big Angle.
Yeah, huge.
Watch an Angle while you're sitting in your high chair, maybe? I don't know.
Definitely. Definitely. Maybe not that young. I was walking, but yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I don't really get into the collecting. Occasionally, if I'm in the toy section with my kids, I'll go look, and I'll always check for a Chase variant, which I never find. I know the AEW ones put the sticker on it, but I don't know. That might be the only way I buy it. Or if I buy I like Matt Hardy, so I bought him.
That's cool.
I liked the Darby Allin one, so I bought that. But
dude, one of the most the best action figures ever released. Like a figure with a skateboard.
Right?
Come on.
Yeah. Now I just got to add some small little tacks to the bottom of it.
Oh, that's dope.
If I can find it. Darby Allin went on a date with Elsa, and I haven't seen him since. So I don't know. You know what I mean?
I love it. I love
it. We talked about your podcast. WWP weekly wrestling weekly podcast or weekly wrestling podcast?
Weekly wrestling podcast. Yeah, I would even get that confused sometimes, so don't even worry.
So you went from that to a referee, to a wrestler, to a champion like we saw now. What I want to know is this. So you were always a fan growing up, obviously watching it, the toys. So you love this. So you do a podcast, just kind of like what we're doing. How do you make that jump from podcaster to wrestler? How does that jump work? What's the origin story there? And why a referee spot first? Yeah, that's all I want to say.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, the referee gig really came about really strangely.
Okay.
I showed up to a show while I was doing the podcast, just to kind of do my thing. And they were like, "Oh, we need a ring announcer and a referee this night." And I was like, "Oh, I've done ring announcing before. Like, cool, I can do that, no problem." They're like, "No, we'd rather you referee." And I was like, I've never done that before.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, cool. Like, I'll do it. Like, I'm more than willing to help out in any way possible. But like, I've never done this before. You know what you're signing up for, essentially. But no, I really enjoyed what I did that night. I actually got to work with like a couple of really good names on that night. I think I worked with Sexy Eddie and like
Ooh.
Casey Spinelli. So like some really reputable names. And I was like, huh, maybe I'll do this. So I started slowly but surely doing a couple more shows here and there. And then I was really good friends with Ethan Page because we were helping out a lot with Alpha One with sponsoring the shows. And I was just, always showing up and helping out in any way possible. And I remember he was like, "Hey, like, I've seen you're picking up referee gigs. Like, do you want to do Alpha One?" And I was like, whoa, like, Alpha One to me was like,
it's
big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, when that got offered to me, I was like, okay, I really need to take this fucking seriously now. So like, went out and like, got actual proper pants, got a couple of shirts, like, actually treated it properly. I got the chance to do a couple of gigs in the States, got the chance to do like all over Ontario, some of the best promotions, Destiny, Smash, D4, A1, like you name it, I got a chance to do it, and it was really, really fun. As it pertains to getting to wrestling, there was a couple of shows where like you'd have promotions teaming up doing double shots.
Okay.
And on one show I'd be a wrestler, and then the next show I'd be a referee. And I was getting some like back and forth from wrestlers, kind of being like, you don't really think that they didn't really think that was the best thing, just because like there'd be some shows where I'd be taking ref bumps too, and like, ref bumps,
Yeah.
You're out for fucking 5-10 minutes, and it's like, how is this guy wrestling 2 hours ago taking 20 bumps in one match, but he takes one and he's out for 16 minutes?
Yeah.
And that stuff like that started to register with me, and like, truthfully, I've always wanted to be a wrestler. Like, it's always something that I wanted to do. It was just like, between my size and like, obviously, like the lack of awareness of independent wrestling for such a period of my life,
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't sure if it was something that I was going to be able to do. And then the opportunity continued to present itself with Rip Impact opening the school in Hamilton. I'm from Hamilton. There was a lot of schools in Ontario, like Squared Circle, Battle Arts Academy. I don't drive, unfortunately. It is something I am working on. It's a big thing in wrestling. But I didn't drive, so it was like, it wasn't something I was able to do. Rip opening school in Hamilton was like, okay, here we go. Like, it's now or never, in my opinion. So I was there day one. I'm a day one HPW guy. I've been on almost every show. If I'm not been on an HPW show, it's because I've literally been doing another show. So it's just, that's very important to me too. Seeing those guys grow and seeing the class of HPW really take over Ontario over the past couple of years. Shout out to Hamilton Pro Wrestling, Rip, and everything that's going on there.
Spectacular. Look at that. Man, what a guy. Getting the plugs in, getting the shout outs in. For the people in the Twitch chat right now, and hell, we're even trying to do a double shot here on TikTok, who may have never shout out TikTok. Maybe who have
my wife would appreciate that one.
Yeah, I literally got a TikTok account because my kids wanted it, and it's a long story, but
it's a lot.
It's a lot to digest, and another time. But
fair enough.
For maybe people who have never seen you, they've never seen the standard Matthew Grant himself or the Empire or anyone, or taking it out.
I hate to interrupt you.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, just
the
Empire. And the reason for that,
Good.
There's actually a legitimate reason for that. There was a stable back in the day, literally called the Empire. And it's just kind of one of those things where we want to differentiate it.
Okay.
So we've always...
No, that's good. Okay, so
I swear there's a legitimate reason behind that because people always troll us over that, and there's an actual reason behind it. I swear.
So for anybody who has never seen Matthew Grant, the standard Matthew Grant, or Empire, let us know. Describe a little bit yourself, your style, quickly. Not, not your typical question, but just who you are, stuff like that. I guess.
The best way I can describe myself, and it wasn't even me that came up with it. It was a buddy of mine. He's like, you're a dude that just like works hard and like never stops grinding and never stops, never stays down. Like I'm always somebody who, no matter what happens in my life, I'm always pushing for the best possible outcome. I'm always somebody that's as optimistic as I possibly can be. In terms of like actually my wrestling style, I don't even know. I'm a piece of shit. That's the best way I could say it. For the most part, like the best compliments and the best feedback I get is usually when I work heel.
Yeah.
I do work babyface quite a few places. I think it's just one of those things over time where like I've been with wrestling now 5 years, so it's like, oh, people are seeing this guy's not actually taking this seriously, so we actually kind of respect him a little bit. So yay for him. But no, I truly feel I do my best work as a heel. I truly feel like, and I put it on my social media the other day, you put a microphone in my hand, I promise I will deliver. I truly feel I have one of the best promos in Ontario. I go out of my way to cut promos for every single show I'm on because that is something that people should be doing as a professional wrestler, letting people know where you're going to be every single show, every single place. I'm just somebody who continues working, man. Like I've been doing this now almost a decade between the podcast, refereeing, and wrestling, and like this is all I want to do, and I'm going to continue doing it until I'm making a living off of this.
Phenomenal. Well said. When you described it as maybe not the piece of shit part, but the part just a grinder, always like get knocked down, like can't keep him down, always getting back up and fighting. It gave me Mikey Whipwreck vibes from ECW back in the day.
I got Spike Dudley, but just not a piece of shit. Yeah. Exact words.
Yeah, there you go. I can see that as well. There were times Spike Dudley was a piece of shit. He deserves to be thrown into the third row by several people. I'm just fact.
And sometimes I do too. But anyways, we don't need to.
You enjoy being a heel much more than a face.
I do. It's just I get it out of my system. No, a lot of the guys I admired growing up, the CM Punks, the Kevin Owens, the Edges, the Kurt Angles, those are guys that are usually have done their better work as heels as well, and that's stuff that I like studying. I'm always looking back on different footage to try and like incorporate stuff that you don't really see anymore. I know what wrestling is nowadays in terms of moves, and I try to make myself somebody who you're not just going to remember for moves, but you're going to remember because I was somebody who stood out in your mind.
Yeah, I get storyteller vibe out of you just listening to you speak, knowing that you ran a successful podcast for so long, hearing your promos on Angry Ben Ortman. We'll get to him. Yeah, so I totally get that storyteller for sure.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things of wrestling. If I'm being honest with you, I watch promos on YouTube way too fucking much, and I study a lot of that type of stuff. So I really appreciate the storytelling aspect of pro wrestling a lot.
When I first started this podcast a long time ago on Twitch, I used to have a whole segment called Best of the Worst Promo, and I basically watched really, really bad promos.
What was the worst promo you've ever seen? Switching the question on you.
The worst promo I've ever seen, ever, was this promo. It was from like an indie wrestler. Some people even called them trash bag wrestlers. This kid, it was a kid. Okay, all right. Let me rephrase it. It was a wrestler, a dad. His name was, oh God, why can't I remember it? I hope someone back in the day is in the chat that can help me. But his kid came on and he cut a promo, and he talked about using a cheese grater. I'll get it. I'll DM it to you once I can find it.
Please do.
Cheese grater, the gasoline, and he was cutting a promo on this other kid. I'm talking like 12 years old, saying,
"Yo, he's hardcore."
Something about Pearl. Ah, man, I'll find it and I'll send it to you. It was the funniest thing.
Please do.
I'd ever seen. I didn't explain it well. I will find it and send it to you. But we used to do that. So I would find what I thought was the worst promo when it first started, and I put it up against this other one that I thought was the worst promo. And then the people in the chat, we'd all vote. And then whichever one was the worst would advance, and we would do it again next week.
I love it.
And
I love that.
I should try to bring it back someday. It's just
I'll come in and be a co-host.
Oh my god,
if you want.
So funny. Oh man, I'll get it for you because I'm not doing it justice at all.
I need to hear it now. You've got me built up. You got my anticipation there. I need to hear
it. Why can't I even think of the dad's name? Man, I created him in WWE 2K and everything. That's how much I loved that promo. It was so bad.
The investment is real.
It was worse than that. I made a custom T-shirt. You know how they have like the custom T-shirts that I always first saw it with like the Beatles names. So it would say John, Paul, George, and Ringo. It would just be like the font.
Yep.
And everyone does it now. Well, I made one with the words that he said. So it said cheese grater, gasoline.
I love
whatever this. The other, and oh man, it's pissing me off that I can't remember the exact lines from it. But I will get it from you. That was a good time. Yeah. So I do love promos. Love them. Good ones, bad ones, all of them. Great stuff. A good promo could make an entire storyline before you even get in the ring.
1000%. I've seen it many of times. Actually. Again, a big shout out to PWO. They're doing some good stuff with Gate Strike and John Greed. They had a really fun promo. Check out their YouTube, and you can look back on all that stuff.
Yeah, TikTok's telling us jumping Jeff Farmer. That's a good.
I'm gonna punch them in the face though. Just even though I'm putting them over, they're still getting punched in the face.
Hey, some people deserve that. Some people have a punchable face. It just happens.
Some people are talented, but they still get punches in the face.
I wanted to ask you a couple things. I want to know what these things mean to you. What resonates the most from you? One of them is Tommy Dreamer. How awesome is Tommy Dreamer?
Man, that dude. I have a really soft spot in my heart. There we go. For Tommy Dreamer. That's how much like he means to me. He makes me fumble my words. But seriously, when it comes to Tommy Dreamer, I got a chance to work with him a couple of times. The one obviously that stands out is House of Hardcore. They came to Niagara Falls. We got a chance to do some work with them. He put us up in a hotel. We got to do a VIP podcast and interview some cool names. And I'm really mad because I didn't know how Twitch worked at this time. Did not save the broadcast. I don't have anything from that day. It makes me so upset. But no, for real, House of Hardcore was such a cool experience. And he came into Alpha 1 a couple of times too and remembered me, and we had a couple of chats. So yeah, shout out to Tommy Dreamer. He's the man.
He is a phenomenal human being. I miss House of Hardcore. I don't know
I do too.
if it will ever come back. Maybe. I don't know. It's wrestling. Everybody comes back, right?
Never say never.
The 3-year anniversary of Crossbody Pro Wrestling.
Oof. I literally got like goosebumps as you said that. And I'm not even kidding. That was a really special night. So we had won a couple tag team titles prior to that. Myself and JT Kirkus Empire. But that night, I mentioned, loving being a heel and like that's great and everything. But like, this was my first title win with my brother as a babyface. And we got the chance to actually celebrate and embrace the moment. And like, I can genuinely say one of the coolest moments of my career. And Tid and Custom, we had a cool story going with them for like a solid year and learned so much from them guys, man. I can honestly say we wouldn't be the tag team we are today without having that series of matches with them and getting the chance to run in crossbody. So, and the title run was really fun too. I really hope we get a chance to run it back with Blake and Jackson Stone at one point because those guys are insanely talented. But yeah, man, crossbody. That night was, like I said, literally when you brought it up, I got like chills down my spine.
Phenomenal. And after those phenomenal words about crossbody pro wrestling, April 16th, I believe you have a match with Angry Ben Ortman. Now, my first question is, why is he so? What is he angry about?
I don't know. He really needs a hug or something. I've tried to offer him one on multiple occasions, and he's still angry. I don't know. He's one of my best friends, legitimately. And the fact that we're getting to do this is really cool. I told the story in the promo. If you haven't seen it on my socials, genuinely one of my favorite promos I put out in my career. I self-produced it. Got all the footage together, all that fun stuff. But when it comes to me and him, we had a match back in 2019 when we were the tag champions. It was our final, 2020, and it was our final defense as champions. We faced him and Tyler Thomas. I pinned Ben in that match. We had one more show, and then pandemic hit. And it was a time period that changed a lot of people's lives. And I truly believe it changed ours for the better. Like, both of us really started to believe in ourselves. Like, we went out of our way to truly invest in ourselves, even with Twitch. But when it comes to pro wrestling, like we both got brand new gear. We both got brand new theme music. We both literally came back with a whole new mentality pro wrestling because we both love this so goddamn much and we want to succeed. But we also want to love this. We don't want to get sucked into the shenanigans and the drama that sometimes comes with pro wrestling. Mm-hmm. So we're just focused on being as positive and moving forward as much as we can. So he's going on an absolute tear of a run right now, getting chances to go out to Montreal and Ottawa and have banger matches with Mike Bailey and win championships. And I've been watching his run. I've been paying attention, and as one of his best friends, I'm super proud of him. But at the end of the day, I've also stepped up my game huge since the pandemic has been over and shows have started up again. I captured the HWE Cruiserweight Championship. I beat one of the longest reigning champions in the history of crossbody and Pretty Ricky Wilde for the Blue Ribbon Championship.
Pretty Ricky Wilde.
I was not pinned for that championship either. So I'll keep that fresh in your minds. I've not been pinned or submitted in a crossbody ring for nearly 2.5 years. So wow. April 16th, both of us have a bit of a chip in our shoulder, I'd say. I just went toe-to-toe with Holden Albright, the longest reigning heavyweight champion of all time, and people thought I was going to die in that match. But guess what? I stood toe-to-toe with him, and I did not back down. And that's the mentality I'm going to have going forward, not just in a crossbody ring, but in every single ring I step into. No matter what you throw at me, I'm going to not back down, and I'm going to get back up every time.
Phenomenal. Well said. Well said. You mentioned that's April 16th, Crossbody Pro Wrestling.
I've got actually this Saturday. Shout out HWE.
Yes, go ahead.
Let me pull out that Cruiserweight Championship really quick. Unfortunately, I was scheduled to face Sway Archer.
All right.
He suffered a injury. I'm not too sure the extent of the injury, but will not obviously be able to make the show or have the match. That is a match, genuinely, I was looking forward to. So I hope, and I'll say this to HWE management, please rebook that in the future. I want that match. But now, open challenge to anybody who is not named Travis Moore because he does not deserve a title match because I already beat him. He's at the back of the line. So anybody who's not named Travis Moore, April 9th, this Saturday,
show up.
Championships up for grabs.
Me, how long does it take for me to get there? Maybe I can make it there.
Surprise!
Bam! Here I am. Shout out to a longtime friend of this Twitch/wrestling variety show. Arctic Knight just hosted us for 52 viewers. So
What up, our night? Thank you.
Probably very confusing to his community, but hey, we're willing to have fun. Whatever you guys want to talk about. I got some good news for you. Reached out to one of my longtime friends. He got me the link for the promo. So, I believe we can watch it. I can show it to you. So
I love this.
Let me see if I can get all the buttons correct. So I want to hit this button for you. Nope, that didn't work. Let's try it again. That should work.
Normal?
Yeah, there it is.
There it is.
Okay.
Oh, man.
So now let me pull it up for the Twitch.
Oh, man. I'm pumped right now.
Let me pull it up for the Twitch people.
He's got a staple gun, too.
Yeah. Why is it? No. You know what? I don't. All right, here we go. Okay. Volume level.
No.
Why is it? Oh, that's us. Hold on. I gotta mute us somewhere so we don't hear ourselves talking. Wasn't prepared for this.
You never know what you're gonna get, guys.
Never know. Us somewhere. So we're still somewhere. We're still somewhere playing. All right. Now we're muted. Now we should be good. No, there's music playing. See, we're not professional, Matthew. Is it Matthew or Matt? Matthew.
I gotta be honest.
Yeah.
I always get that, and I don't care.
All right. So I've learned that it's Empire and
good.
it's Matt. All right.
That's it.
So here we go. Now we're good. Let me make it full screen because everything should be full screen. Turn it up. Hopefully we don't blow the eardrums out. And here we go.
Gasoline, the stapler, and the cheese grater. And if none of that works, I always carry a box cutter on me. And it's got the blade.
It's hard to hear.
Oh my god. And about the police and the DCF and the caseworker or whoever that is, I'm not scared. I've been to juvenile. I don't care. They can step in the ring with me. It don't bother me. They just gonna get gasoline, the stapler, and the cheese grater on them. Plus, the box cutter on them. It don't bother me.
What is happening?
I'll even staple them in the private area. It don't bother me.
It don't bother me.
It don't bother me anyhow.
Whoa. Hold up this little DP.
And this is his dad coming in. His dad is called Dirty Player. And this is
Okay.
And his son is Little Dirty Player.
You know what? All this, you know what? Good luck, Tom. I know having your back.
Oh,
Sit down.
doesn't have
I'm
sketch
backing
back.
out.
Hold on. And yes, I will be using the cheese grater, the stapler, and the gasoline on each one. Everyone, the box cutter, the cheese grater, the stapler,
This is pretty
and the
bad.
gasoline going on every person that goes in the ring. Even my opponent. You're gonna get each one of these things put on. Oh yeah, and the lighter.
In the lighter.
And I will be setting them up on.
All right, so that
I have so much to process from this. Okay, so
it's
number
why-
one.
Yes. go
Number
ahead.
one, the title, an orphan versus orphan death match.
Yeah.
That is my number one.
Yep.
Number two, the thing that popped me the most, it's a tie between him just casually pulling out a box cutter
Yeah.
and him trying to use that lighter and it not working on the first attempt.
Oh my god.
But
It's-
number three, that little kid cuts a better promo than 90% of indie workers. What's going on here, man?
he did. Although we don't know where the match is, we don't know when the match is, and we know he has an opponent, but I don't know his name.
I feel that my youngest daughter of destruction, that would be her promo.
And that's what it was. It was the cheese grater, the stapler, the gasoline, and the box cutter. That's what I made a shirt of. I was obsessed with this promo. Because it's bad. It's pretty bad.
So I'm going to have to do a tribute to this promo and just casually pull out a box cutter in one of my promos one of these times.
There you go. And I'll staple them in the private area.
Oh my God.
Private parts.
That's the best. The best.
The
There's
cheese
so much.
grater is going to be the new pizza cutter.
Yeah. Phenomenal. I mean, I don't even know where to go from here. I have no idea.
That's a great closing note.
It is. Something we do at the end of every show, Matthew. And I didn't even get to talk about your YouTube, your Twitch, what you're playing. But we like to leave a lot of stuff on the table. What we like to do.
Means I can come back.
Yeah, of course. Anytime.
Get a future booking, you know?
There you go. That's how
I'm a true worker.
Yeah, exactly. You know what to do. And I'm going to give you the mic now. And you can put yourself over. You can plug anything you want. You can bury anyone you want. You can say anything you want at all, just like Little Dirty Player himself. I will not interrupt. The floor is yours.
I ain't got nothing cool to pull out of my back pocket, so I'm sorry about that in advance. But no, you can follow me on all forms of social media. I'm at Matthew Grant, first days to 4. You will know everywhere and anywhere I'm going to be. I cut promos decently enough in advance. I promote my stuff a couple days, day of the show. You'll see everything I'm doing if you follow me at Matthew Grant, first days to 4. If you want to keep up with anything Empire related, we are at Empire Tag Team on all forms of social media as well. We've got the website. I really need to update that. It's empiretagteam.ca. A lot of cool stuff on there. Theme downloads, match history, a lot of cool stuff. So go check that out if you get a chance. And yeah, just keep up with everything independent wrestling, man. It's a really cool time to be an independent wrestler and a wrestling fan. And it's just really cool to see all this stuff popping up. So I really thank you guys for the platform. I thank you for not being your prototypical interview and asking me some bullshit questions.
Yeah, we try.
I really appreciate the platform, genuinely, guys. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, anytime, man. You're welcome back. You're a pleasure to talk to. Thanks for giving us your time, and we'll see you. We'll see you soon.
Absolutely. Take care, guys. Cheers.
Yep. Peace. Cheers. Woo! Great stuff, man. That was.